Hey friends, welcome back to Our Joy of Gaming, where I introduce my 12-year-old son to some retro games that we play, and we play some new games. And on this episode, we are going to talk about a marathon that we just had. We had a marathon, a full night with chips and chocolate and treats of playing beat-em-up games.
Yeah.
So I pulled you in. First of all, had you ever heard of beat-em-ups before?
Well, no, I mean, you had messaged me like, oh yeah, we'll put my sister to bed, and then we'll have a night of just beat 'em ups, and I'm like,
wait, you're gonna beat me up?
yeah. I'm like, I don't know what that is.
So beat 'em ups, yeah, for those of you that don't know what beat 'em ups are, they of course are the sort of side-scrolling games where you can, couch co-op, where you can sit down with a couple of people, maybe one person, two persons, three people, four, maybe four persons, five persons, I don't know. And you get together and you can go side to side and beat things up. You can just smash things up. Yeah, I don't know exactly where the name comes from, but these are the games that I used to play, growing up in the arcade. These are the games that I would go with my friends and bring a whole stack of quarters.
Yeah.
And
so we played like 4 games, right?
Four or five I think we played. Yeah. And we had a whole night of marathon with a bag of chips and
we played what?
Well, we're going to run through. So let's run through. We're going to run through a couple of them here. We'll give you our thoughts on. I want to get your thoughts on these games here. So let's just start it off. We start off with Double Dragon. We started to play Double Dragon 2. Now, most of these we played on the Nintendo, on the NES. So this is Double Dragon 2 we got to play, and this is a lot of fun because, this is one of the first games where you could player versus player, where I could actually punch you.
Yeah.
Not just the bad guys. So what were your thoughts on this?
So like at first I thought it was really cool where you can just beat the bad guys up, right? But then it was confusing because there was this one part I remember. It was like a ledge that we tried to get over.
Yeah.
But so we were just walking, but then it just pushed us down, so we kept falling off.
Yeah, it kept falling off the roof line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then there's also the mechanic where you it's weird because you punch forward, right? But then you kick backwards.
Right.
So I was trying to kick a guy that was in front of me.
Right.
And I was instead kicking backwards. So
yeah.
Instead of beating them up, they'd beat me up.
And so one of the fun things too is you can pick up different items in this game too. So right, you can grab whips and chains.
Yeah.
But the fun part is, of course, as you're going along, and this is one thing that we used to do with our friends, is like you're trying to progress in the game, but then you're hitting your friend over the head with a lead pipe and a whip. The music is great too in this. The music is a lot of fun, and of course picking up different bad guys and doing pile drivers. You can pick them up and kind of smash them down with their head.
That was cool.
Yeah. Did you find it tough? What about the controls? Because we were playing on the Nintendo Entertainment System, so we were playing on the NES.
Yeah, no, it was like I thought that the controls at first were like a bit confusing, especially with the part that I mentioned, falling off the roof. And then we're like, oh, that's how we jump.
Right. And I love this is like a post-apocalyptic world, right? So after like nuclear fallout, like all of these bad guys have like kind of taken over, but they're all, do you notice anything about these characters? Like they're all shirtless.
Yeah.
Like none of them have shirts, and they all got like the spiky like 1980s hair.
And at first I thought there was like on the people, I thought that there was some sort of helmet that looked like a boxing glove helmet.
Uh-huh.
But I just found out that was their hair, so I'm like, oh, they have Elvis Presley hair.
All right, so that was Double Dragon 2, and then next we played
Contra.
Yes, Contra. So this is a rite of passage. One of the greatest side-scrolling couch co-op games ever, where you can play with your friends and go through the forest. And again, you notice anything about these characters in this game?
They also don't have shirts.
Exactly. Shirtless. There's a common theme with these guys. All right, so I was super excited to show you Contra. What did you think of this game?
I mean, I thought it was cool because you don't just use your fists and you use like guns, right? And then you can get all sorts of power-ups like a machine gun, and then there was this weird one where it's like where you shoot and it's like a ton of bullets going like that.
Yeah, a rifle like a spinny gun.
And then
What was tough about it?
well, I mean, just because there was a ton of like turrets and like so many people like firing at you at the same time.
Right.
So like you have to duck, then get up, then duck, then get up, and then shoot. You know.
Right. And you can lay on the ledges and then slide through the ledges.
Yeah.
So you lay on your belly, of course, and you can drop down and play through it. Of course, we didn't do the hack where there's a famous hack that I don't even know how we learned about this hack growing up. But you, on the NES controller, and I don't remember off the top of my head, I'd have to look it up again. I'm 46 now. But there was a code you could put in at the start menu where it was like up, down, left, right, A, B, select, start. Up, down. Now, someone's going to yell at me in the chat, and I'll figure it out later. But then it would give you unlimited lives.
Oh my
or
God.
like 100 lives or unlimited. I forget exactly. And that's how you could like get through the game. Because with three lives, you're pretty much dead pretty quickly, right?
Yeah. And I thought it was cool how you could swim, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Jungle time.
at first I was like going around, and then I see this bridge start falling down.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, how am I gonna get to the other side? And you just jump in the water.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? You can swim?
Anyway, this was part of our beat 'em ups night. Contra. Everyone played Contra in my neighborhood. Everyone had it. I mean, everyone I knew had the cartridge that growing up. Everyone had Contra. And it was funny, like this word of mouth. I don't know how we figured out this hack. This, like, who sat there for the first time and did up, down, left, right, A, B, start.
Yeah.
And then
like,
got these.
Who just thought about it? You know?
Yeah, and then got all these like extra lives to play this game. But this was a game that we would also play in the arcade, of course, Contra in the arcade, and the port then over to the NES cartridge was a little bit different. But what's great is you can get the Contra collection now on the Switch. So the Contra collection, has so many great games. Contra the arcade. I think there's like 12 games on that. I don't know the exact number, but it's so good. So you can get all the Contra games on there as well. I think Contra Hardcore, so many great ones. So overall thoughts on Contra for your first time playing one of the classic neighborhood games. What was your thought?
I mean, I thought it was like really cool. I wasn't expecting anything like that. You kept telling me like, we gotta play Contra.
Yeah.
And I think you'd mentioned it one time before.
I've mentioned it, yeah. Well, because remember when we went to that hotel, there was a Contra on that cabinet.
Right, yeah.
They had 1,000 games in that cabinet game, and they had Contra
and at first I didn't know what the hype was about it. And you're just like, oh yeah, we gotta play this. And I'm like, okay, why?
Well, and you have to work together, and take out these turrets and shoot these guys, and you can't shoot each other. That's one thing. But also just like teaming up with a friend on the couch and like completing this game. You know, even if you have all the extra lives, like that's part of the fun of going through and playing this game to complete this. So we've got to finish this. We've got to finish Contra. We were playing so many games that night. We didn't finish Contra, but we're going to finish this game, okay?
Yeah.
All right, next up, we've got a great one, but we're going to save the best for last. So we've got one that I want to save because I think, well, I'm not going to lead the witness here, but I think this was one of my favorites. So we'll save in my opinion, the best for last. But next, what did we play next?
All right, so we played next Ninja Turtles.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles! Shredder's Revenge.
You said we're going to save the best for last, so I thought...
This was the best? So we had a lot of fun playing this, but because I wanted sort of like the retro thing to be the last game that we played and talked about here. But this is Shredder's Revenge.
Yeah.
So this is a new game. They came out, I think, in 2022, but it is like a total throwback to the classic Turtles games that I used to play in the arcade, where you play 4 players. Each of you had a controller.
Yeah.
Put in a bunch of quarters, and the arcade version, 4 people could join, and you could pick from any of the 4 turtles. Right. And it was a side-scrolling beat 'em up. You would go through, get pizza to power up, and beat up all these bad guys.
This game was like really cool, especially because of like the animation and where you can just you can like double jump and then just go and hit some people.
Yeah.
Like one of my main attacks, I would just double jump and then just dive down with my feet and knock someone out.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really cool. And now my favorite is what's his name?
Who did you pick? Raphael?
Yeah, Raphael.
Yeah.
With forks.
Yeah, the what are they called?
I don't know.
Sai? I forget the name of those as well. I had all the turtles growing up out of the packaging, and pulled them out of the bubble wrap and would play them constantly. Michelangelo and Leonardo.
I think this game is like really, really cool.
It is such a love letter to like the classic games and to the classic arcade games, and so much fun to play with somebody in the room together. And Ava joined us, your sister.
Yeah.
We played it a few months ago as well, right? And she picked April, the reporter.
Yeah.
And she's a great character in this too. She can really kick some butt.
Yeah, like she hits with her microphone.
Right, she hits with her microphone. But these guys
But at first we couldn't attack for some reason because we weren't using the right thing.
Oh, because we were using some of the NES controllers,
Yeah.
the Nintendo Online NES controllers. We had to switch back to the Pro
considering
controllers.
this is a new game.
Right, isn't that funny? So it won't let you use, Nintendo released some of those NES, classic throwback NES controllers that are wireless, right? But they won't work with this. I mean, you could go into the menu, I guess, and switch some stuff up. But we had to ended up playing with the Pro controller.
Yeah, and we even went into the move list. Like, where's Y? We can't hit with Y.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about some of the gameplay here, and just like some of the attack moves and stuff.
Well, like I said, it was I thought the animations were cool, and where you could double jump and all that. But then you could do some like special attacks.
Oh,
if
yeah,
you
yeah.
just like, I don't know, mash some buttons or something, and then you could like take out. I think there's one for each different turtle.
Right. So if you're Donatello, right, and you want to swing the big stick, the bow stick, it does like a big spin move, right, when you hit the combination, right?
Yeah. And then I also love when you're like knocked out, and then it shows the pizza.
Yeah.
Just showing how much they love pizza.
Well, and you can go over and help. Like you have 8 seconds, 7 seconds, and you can go over and like. If you can find space, you can actually go over and give some hit points to save your friend. Give him a pizza slice.
And then you'll find like the pizzas there.
Yeah.
That'll just refill you both.
Right.
Which is I feel like is really cool that it shows junk food as
the way to
health.
refill, right? Because you love pizza. Well, we all love pizza. What about the boss battles in this?
Oh yeah. So the boss battles, I thought. Were really cool when we'd have to team up together, you know? And then...
to learn the patterns?
Right, yeah. And then, we'd die a couple times, and then we'd get to him, and we'd learn, like, okay, I can hit him at this point, and then he's gonna, like, there was one guy with the rats.
Oh, yeah.
And then he's gonna move his rats down,
You gotta learn the patterns and jump over the rats.
Them.
Yeah.
And I thought it was really cool with the rats because they would go onto your hand and you'd just be like,
shaking them off. Yeah. So super fun. So Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. Do you recommend this game?
I do. Yes, it's really fun.
Yeah, this is such a great game to play together on the couch co-op, as they say. So grab your sisters, grab your brothers, get the family members.
Don't literally grab them.
Don't grab them. Just be kind and say, come on upstairs. You want to play Shredder's Revenge? But then also it has online. So if you want to play with your friends who aren't here, you can play online mode.
Right. Oh, yeah, that's
in
cool.
the party mode, which is super cool. So great game. It's such a throwback to a classic game. Okay, I'm super excited to talk about... I think I saved the best for last because we had so much fun
now that
playing
I
this
think
game.
about it, you did save the best for last.
Yeah?
So
this is what?
This is River City Ransom.
River City Ransom on the Nintendo Entertainment System.
And what I loved about this game is that it's funny.
Yeah.
Because you're like a little bulky character.
Yeah.
And you can pick up things, kill the other people, right? And I love when you hit them, their eyes like bulge big and they're like, ah!
Yeah.
And so I was hitting them with my metal whip, and then I would find a rock.
Uh-huh.
And then there would be a guy in front of you, right? And then I'd pick up the rock, and then you have just finished them. And so he's dead, but then I would throw the rock thinking he's still there, and then it'd hit you.
Right.
So I could hit you, and that happened many times, and I just thought that was so funny. where
Yeah.
you could just hit your own teammate with a rock or something.
Yeah, this is another one of those player versus player
Yeah.
PvP, where you can attack like in Double Dragon, where you can hit each other. And
Yeah.
so while we were waiting for bad guys to pop up on the screen, like you're hitting me with a whip or I'm throwing a rock at your
Yeah.
face. Right?
But another thing I thought was cool about this is that you could go into like in the streets. There's like all sorts of cafes and like sushi restaurants, and you can just buy something that'll regen your health.
I know. This is such a cool concept because otherwise you're picking up maybe some power ups, and so often you're dying pretty quickly when you're playing a beat 'em up game.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're putting in quarters into an arcade game, you're like, oh my God, really? I'm already down $1 and I've only, I've already
Yeah.
lost 3 people. So this is so cool because you can take a break after you have a beat 'em up session and you're beating some guys up, and then you're
Yeah.
like down to 1 bar of health, 2 bars of health.
And then there's like things like the diner where you can buy like waffles, pancakes, hot chocolate, tea, coffee.
And because you're picking up the coins,
Right,
So
yeah.
you're getting the money on the street.
Like it's kind of like you're beating up some bad guys, but then also robbing them.
Right. You're beating them up and robbing them so you can
Yeah.
go get waffles.
Yeah,
Yeah. And then
waffles. What we had this morning.
that's what we had this morning, waffles. I just love this game, and the music is great. The music is so much fun.
Yeah.
There's the character designs are so much fun. They're like these little deformed, guys with the
and
bulgy eyes.
when you're walking down the street and it says like sushi, the cafe, the diner, there's just civilians there.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking, oh, there's some bad guys, so I'd pick up a whip and hit them, or try to hit
Tried
them.
to hit them, yeah.
Yeah, but then I hit you instead.
Yeah. Yeah, so you were hitting me while we were trying to go into the diner. And in the sushi restaurant, so funny to see like the Japanese, influencer. You can get like egg, octopus, squid. You can get eel, like that'll regen your
Yeah.
health. Prawns, and that's more expensive. You get the prawns. You can get cheaper
Yeah.
sushi.
It's like prawns in a restaurant, the more expensive version.
Yeah, and then there's all these like little nooks and crannies. You can go into the park, right? And
Right, yeah.
there's some fun stuff here too, like you can jump up on like fences.
Yeah,
And things?
that's cool, yeah.
You also can get the brass knuckles.
Yeah.
Where you put.
And then you could also throw that at you. I figured that out because I did.
Yeah.
I did throw it at you.
It is funny to see the gameplay. It slows down when you're playing 2-player. Like you can just see how like this old Nintendo system just kind of is sluggish when you've got 2 people on the screen. And then when one of you dies, like, it speeds up a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Because now one person's not on the screen fighting.
And there was one thing where you'd be walking and then you would die and then I'd go, mew. I'd be going so much faster. And maybe that's just a sprinting mechanic, but I don't know.
I don't know. I think because these this early game system and all of these sprites on the screen fighting, you can see, and you can also see some of like where the graphics kind of disappear. You can see like they kind
Yeah.
of flash in and out. So you can see that this was like a game, I think, pushing the limits of it. You could pick these guys up too.
Yeah.
You could pick
And
them up
then
and
just-
throw them. Yeah. I love the artwork of this game and the backgrounds. River City Ransom. Such a classic beat 'em up. I'm so excited that we got to play that. So guys, that was our look at a marathon night of beat 'em ups. So what did you think overall? Do you want to keep playing? Do you want to do another marathon night of beat 'em ups?
I do, yeah. Like, just you and me going up here, beating up the Nintendo Entertainment System.
Beating it up, stretching it to its limits.
Yeah.
Playing some Turtles, playing some River City
Yeah.
Ransom. So in the games that we played about 4 or 5. Of the ones that we played, what are your top, maybe your top 2 that you like the most?
Probably Turtles and River City Ransom.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I think those are our top. Turtles and River City Ransom. And then if we can get if we can figure out the hack where we can get unlimited lives in Contra,
Yeah.
that'll probably be
That-
on the top
yeah.
of your list too, because once we
Yeah.
get to some big bosses and things like that. So we'd love to hear your thoughts on this. What are some favorite beat 'em ups that you have, that you've been playing, that you played in your childhood that maybe you want to share with your kids? Let us know in the comments below. But before we go,
Or if you want to see me play some more.
yeah, or if you want to give some suggestions, ones that I need to teach Miles how to play. Let us know
We'll
here in
probably
the
do a
comments.
video of just us and our reactions, live playing it.
Oh yeah, we could do that too.
Yeah.
So we'll do a video. Yeah, so just send us your ideas, like which games you think we should play, and we'll play them live, and we'll record our reactions to playing them. Before we go, your shirt. I wanted to show off your shirt because people might be wondering what this is. So last night we went to a Hans Zimmer concert, Hans Zimmer Live. You want to talk a little bit about the concert? What's on your shirt there for people that are wondering?
So, well, I had gotten the tickets last year for my birthday, right? And this was last year, and and the show was yesterday. So, and there was so many people there, but he had this whole band, and I expected it to just be him playing his songs, and it turned out to be like a rock type thing. You know?
With like full orchestra.
Yeah. And it was so cool because everyone would go crazy at the end, and then he'd like say some things, and my favorite one was where he only said 3 words at the end, because normally he gives a little hint as to what it is. Like
what song he's gonna play from what movie?
Like at the first time he said there's a really good celloist, right? And he said, "Oh yeah, here comes trouble. You know, she's a really good pirate."
Yeah.
And then then they played Pirates of the Caribbean. But then after, let's see, The Last Samurai, I'm like, all right, come on, give me something good, you know?
Yeah.
Not that The Last Samurai is not good, but
yeah, it's beautiful.
Then he goes The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes! And then I could recognize the Man of Steel from the first note.
Yeah. Miles was sitting there because, Miles plays piano, so he plays a lot of the Hans Zimmer songs. He loves Hans Zimmer. It's probably like his maybe favorite composer. And so just from that first few notes of playing Man of Steel, you're like, Man of Steel, Superman, just the first note, I think you even recognized it. Super cool. And yeah, he played Gladiator, Lion King, No Time to Die from James Bond. He played the Wonder Woman suite, Top Gun. He played Interstellar, Dune. It was really cool to see all of. He's an amazing composer. Inception as well. So why don't you play us out? Pick a song that you're going to play on the piano to play us out of today's episode. What will it be? Tell us it'll be.
Man of Steel.
Man of Steel. Here's Miles.
No, wait. Pirates.
Okay. Pirates. All right, here's Pirates of the Caribbean from Hans Zimmer, but from my 12-year-old son, Miles. Bye, everyone.